Hello, I'm William Hildebrandt. Welcome to Access Asia. Coming up, free, at least for now. An Islamabad court grants Imran Khan bail and says he cannot be arrested for 2 weeks, but the political standoff unlikely to disappear. And you reap what you sow. Indian farmers joining the country's Me Too movement, demanding action against a powerful politician accused of sexually harassing and intimidating female athletes. And we go to Japan, where guns are not glorified. In fact, ownership of swords is more common. It may partly explain why the country has one of the lowest homicide rates in the world. Well, Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan has been released on bail after his arrest was cancelled. For months, Khan had managed to avoid arrest, but when he was finally taken into detention in court this past Tuesday, outside, chaos ensued. Nearly 2,000 people have been arrested for violence since then. At least 8 have been killed. Khan faces corruption charges, though supporters say the case against him is political. Joining us from our international affairs desk, Oliver Farry. Hello to you, Oliver. Let's begin with, first of all, how this all unfolded.
Well, Imran Khan had been subject to yet another arrest warrant since May 1st. It was issued by Pakistan's National Accountability Bureau. On Thursday, Pakistan's Supreme Court said that Khan's arrest on Tuesday actually was illegal, but it did not set him free. It ordered him to come back to court on Friday. Then he was actually given a 2-week bail. A paramilitary unit rather than police actually had seized him after breaking into the court, as you said. One of the reasons they might have taken this rather unusual recourse was it's so difficult to get at Imran Khan. His many supporters generally form blockades when police tried to arrest him. The actual arrest, when it came on Tuesday, sparked violent protests, particularly in Khan's stronghold of Punjab, which is Pakistan's most populous province. Pakistan's Chief Justice at the Supreme Court hearing had urged Imran Khan to condemn the violence, but Khan has yet to do so. Well, Khan now is free at least for the next couple of weeks. Imran Khan told reporters on Friday ahead of the hearing that he expected to be arrested, but instead he was given a reprieve. That doesn't, of course, mean that his legal woes are going away.
And tell us more about those legal problems.
Well, those legal problems, there are literally dozens of cases filed against him since he left power just over a year ago. Now, the particular one in this case is related to the case of Al-Qadir University Trust. Khan and his wife are accused of benefiting personally from a real estate deal with tycoon Malik Riaz to build an educational institution. Khan has dismissed these charges, saying that as well as the dozens of others levelled against him, they are politically motivated. He's still eyeing a return to office. If he gets convicted here, that would disqualify him. This is actually something that has been used many times in the past to sideline opposition politicians, including under Imran Khan's government himself.
Khan supporters say the problem is the army. What's the military's role in all of this?
Well, there's no doubt that Imran Khan is very bullish in taking on the army, which really has the final say on who rules in Pakistan. Military officers have been leaders of Pakistan for more than half of the country's 76-year history, and they've generally been the eminence grise for its civilian governments as well. And Khan said, there's only one man taking action against me, and that is the army chief. He's referring there to Asim Munir, who we see here. So Imran Khan knows very well what he's doing. He accuses the army of being behind the assassination attempt on him last November when he was shot in the leg when giving a speech to supporters. That the army dismisses those charges. It's also widely believed that Khan came to power initially with the army's connivance. He had been knocking around very much with little success for over a decade in Pakistani politics before he became Prime Minister in 2018. However, he then fell out with the military top brass over a disagreement on who to appoint head of the country's intelligence services, the ISI. He was toppled in a vote of no confidence in 2022 after alleging that the United States had called for him to be removed from power. But Khan has not gone quietly into retirement. He's quite a seasoned populist. He's built up a strong base against the army. The army actually in Pakistan is still quite popular, but so is Imran Khan. So we're definitely seeing a big power play playing out in the coming months.
Indeed, and maybe we'll be back here in 2 weeks' time then. Oliver Farry from our international desk. Well, Indian farmers have joined some of the country's top wrestlers in protest, demanding action against a powerful politician. Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh is accused of sexually harassing female athletes, and the case has shown a light on a culture of sexual abuse, inequality, and impunity in Indian sports. Emerald Maxwell has more.
Farmers break down police barricades in New Delhi as they join female wrestlers in their struggle against their sports federation chief. They've been calling since January for the arrest of Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, whom they accuse of sexual harassment and intimidation against 7 female wrestlers over more than a decade. A few days earlier, clashes broke out in Delhi between protesters and police.
Did we win all those medals for our country just to go through all of this? What should we do? We're not even able to compete. Our lives are on hold. We're literally in the street.
The wrestlers resumed their protests at the end of April, accusing the police, the Wrestling Federation of India, and the Ministry of Sports of failing to act, even after they went public with the allegations in January. It was only after the group went to the Supreme Court in May that the Delhi police, who are under central government authority, filed a case. Singh, who is also a powerful lawmaker from the ruling party, has not been arrested, though. He has denied the allegations and in a video posted on Facebook, urged protesters to wait until investigations were completed. Many of the wrestlers hail from humble backgrounds in the largely agricultural state of Haryana. Wrestling's become popular there among women in recent years, after a series of championship successes.
This sends a bad message to the villages. Who will let their girls pursue sports now? No one. The government claims that they are always ready to protect women's rights, but the contrary is happening.
The government has a slogan, protect and educate girls. But who from? We now see that it's the government that we need to protect our girls from.
The wrestlers have won support from some of India's most famous athletes, as well as from the farmer movements that spearheaded successful protests against agricultural reform bills in 2021. They said next they'll take protests nationwide.
Every year, some 40,000 people die from firearms in the United States. In 2018, Japan reported only 9 deaths. One reason is strict laws. Handguns are banned and only shotguns and air rifles are permitted for sale. Our reporters take a closer look at why firearms are so rare in a country with 125 million people.
It's not often you see someone in Japan holding a gun. These hunters are among a small number of people, along with police officers and sport shooters, who are permitted to own firearms. Applying for a gun license is a complicated process that includes a written exam, mental health checks, and even testimony from family and friends.
The police told my neighbours I had applied for a gun licence and asked them if they considered me dangerous or if there had ever been any friction between us. They asked my wife, "Your husband has applied for a firearm. Does that worry you?" If she'd said yes, I would have been immediately disqualified.
Owners must have their guns inspected every year as part of a series of measures to prevent serious crimes.
We're motivated to begin with. We want to own a gun license, but because the whole process takes so long, some people lose interest. Younger people who want to become hunters get fed up and abandon the idea of owning a gun.
Japan is proud of its low rate of gun crime. While there are no official figures on the number of illegal firearms, estimates say there is less than 1 firearm per 100 inhabitants. In France, it's 80 times higher and 500 times higher in the US, where there are more guns than people. Popular antipathy towards guns in Japan dates back to the 19th century, when the new Meiji emperor asked citizens to register their firearms to protect his position. After the Second World War, US occupation forces confiscated guns, which they associated with wartime militarism. 75 years later, hardly anyone is interested in owning a gun.
It's normal to go through all the checks. Since the regulations on owning firearms came into force, every time there's a serious terrorist incident or shooting overseas, the laws here become even stricter.
One exception is the Yakuza, Japanese crime syndicates that sell arms illegally. This former police officer was part of a team that tackled the trade in illegal firearms.
Sometimes Yakuza sell guns to people who are not members of the Yakuza themselves. We know illegal firearms are smuggled in from the Philippines, North Korea and Russia. These days we also come across homemade and lethal guns manufactured with a 3D printer. It's hard to control them.
Here's a replica of the gun used in the fatal shooting of Shinzo Abe in July 2022, while the former Prime Minister was making a campaign speech. His assassination made news around the world and prompted a discussion about how this could have happened in Japan, where gun violence is rare.
The alleged murderer said that he had made the bullets from spent cartridges that he filled with powder and ball bearings, and then loaded them into his gun.
Takakura says it isn't hard to make a homemade gun, and for very little money, by watching online tutorials.
It would cost you about 150 euros to make this gun. They can't be tested indoors, so people try them out in remote areas where no one can see or hear them.
Abe's death shocked Japan and reinforced anti-gun sentiment here, with authorities tightening online access to information on homemade guns. Murders using firearms are rare, just a single case in 2021 in a country of 125 million people. Most murders in Japan involve swords and knives, although some of those are also subject to strict controls.
If you have a small knife in your car or in your pocket, you can be arrested. But katana are different. You could take one to a shopping mall or subway station and it wouldn't be a problem. You just can't do this.
A katana can be carried with a valid reason and must be properly concealed. Once the preferred weapon of samurai warriors, even these are strictly regulated. Owners must register their swords as cultural properties, an arrangement designed to both ensure public safety and protect the country's heritage. In 2021, Japan registered more than 9,000 new katana, as opposed to just 580 firearms. It's been more than 7 decades since the country decided to make guns a rarity, and it wants to keep it that way. On the other side of the Pacific, meanwhile, gun violence continues to destroy thousands of lives every year.
That's it for this edition. Thank you for watching, and please stay tuned to France 24.